वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा.
Good evening. Hello and welcome to all for the Meenakshi Temple Fundraiser. We are very honored to host this small fundraising event for one of my favorite temple and goddess. Thank you Chairman Vinod Kaila and the fundraising committee for allowing us to contribute in this manner. Our journey with MTS started in 1996 when we left Philadelphia and arrived in H-Town on a cold March afternoon into the River Oaks area with 2 little young kids. We did not know a single person here. We had heard about the Meenakshi temple earlier. So that evening, barely hours after arriving in Houston, we decided to visit the temple. No Google Maps, no GPS, but somehow we managed to reach the temple in an unfamiliar town. I was awestruck when I arrived at the temple at dusk. I had not seen any temple in the US as big as Meenakshi temple with prakarams and an open plan. Until that point, our move to Houston was not appealing, but it all changed that moment. The 2 most important people that we met on our first visit were Sri Rajaratna Butter Mama and Sri Ramalinga Mama. Butter Mama inquired about us and said, "Romba sandoshama, Ambal Ashirvadam." And that day, our journey started with MTS and our community started to grow with Ambal Ashirvadam. Ambal Ashirvadam became my favorite phrase over the next 2 decades, reinforced in each email I received from Butter Mama. Ramalinga Mama, as usual in his own dialect, Engirundu Variga, that's how he asked us. Lots of new aunties and uncles came into our life, and even after 25 plus years, I really enjoy the company of them. Maragadam auntie, Rajam auntie, I think Raji auntie is not there, Dhanam auntie, all the aunties. My kids have literally grown up at MTS. Our volunteering days were filled with fun and laughter and have created lovely memories. We have had so many glorious moments with all the function at MTS. It's the unshakable faith I have in her and the unstoppable joy that she gives us keeps me going back 2 or 3 times a week. What an irony that among the first major events in this R. Srinivasan Chamber Music Hall is one for my beloved goddess Meenakshi. Years have rolled by and MTS has grown leaps and bounds since our arrival here. We have seen the Kalyana Mandapam come up, parking lots created, YC construction, GTRP, MTRP, CTRP, and so on. Personally, the days when I refer to aunties and uncles has now changed to my Buttabama calling me party. Definitely years have flown by. I have witnessed MTS in all its glory and challenges from my role as a board member in the past. I strongly believe in the great work that the founders of the temple did in establishing the bylaws and the succession process and procedures. Coming to the purpose of this fundraiser, I always used to wonder when I saw the archway at Swami Narayanan, when will we get our archway at MTS? Archway is the Dwaram. As much as the Rajagopuram stands tall and visible from far away, and the archway to the temple, it is also a very important architectural aspect for any temple. Every major temple in India has an arch, be it Srirangam, Parthasadi Temple, Samayapuram, and the like. So when Vinod told me about the project, I was all excited. It took me a few weeks to say yes to Vinod to be the co-chair for this fundraiser. So many people have asked me, why am I doing this? Are you okay? Have you lost your mind? And the questions were endless. My answer, it's the gratitude from the young couple who arrived in 1996 with so much hope, and the presiding deity has showered her blessings in abundance and she has stood by us. Mama's words still rings in my ear, Ambal Ashirvadam, even after 12 years. Gratitude is the way to say thanks to the temple, and I hope we continue to do our service to her. I end my speech with this quote, Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. It's my honor and privilege to welcome the chairman of MTS, Shri Vinod Kaila Reddy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Roopa, for kind words and also your introduction. So I learned quite a bit from that, a few minutes. You know, I first met Roopa when I joined the board. I used to see her quite a bit when I was a visitor as a devotee, but I joined the board in 2012, and she was the RAC coordinator, and I was the construction coordinator for the Ganesh Temple renovation project. We worked together very, very closely for 2 years while she was there, and she helped me get around and follow the rules, and she helped me quite a bit, so, and after that, I was asked to serve as a construction coordinator on the other two renovations like MTRP and CTRP. So I learned quite a bit. My job was to listen and learn, and I learned from three wonderful leaders, and of course Dr. Appan and Venugopal Menon were there. First it was Tupil Narasimhan. He was nurtured me as a leader, tell me how to get around, what are the limits, boundaries, what we're supposed to do, and all that stuff. And then of course Dr. Varanganathan was there with me for 4 years, and then Narayanan, chairman, also. I was off the board, but he asked me to return and help him out on the construction committee. I was happy to help. Temple today looks so beautiful, right? I mean, you can tell, you should be proud. And this is one of the temples compete with any other temple in the country. First Shakti temple with a nice Rajavidhi, walkways and praharams. It's beautiful. And we had a very good Suhasini Puja day last Friday. There were 500 people inside the temple, but by the time we got to the dining room, there were 1,000 people. And we served every one of them. They all had some very satisfying dinner, and we had a great Meenakshi Kalyanam. I don't know if you were there. We served 2,000 people on that day. So we've been doing very well this year, right? I mean, last 2 years, we were stuck at home with pandemic, and now everybody's out and about, want to socialize, and we welcome that. And they showed that starting from New Year's Day. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Bala. So we did well. So without any delay, so when I became vice chairman last 2 years, and then now starting January 1st, we've been doing very well. Treasurer, we have an excellent 20-member board team, very united, unanimous, working very, very hard-working members. Every one of them worked very hard. And so we were thinking about, we have all these structures built, right? I mean, we have a place for worship, now beautiful temple on the right side of Meenakshi Boulevard. Left side is a cultural portion where a Kalyana Mandapam, beautifully renovated. It was 6 to 10 Arangetrams happening every year, and people are getting married, celebrated 80th birthday. Dr. Akpan celebrated 80th, and you, Dr. you celebrated 80th, and so many others did, and I'm very happy we joined all of those celebrations. Many people get married, small, medium size, and large weddings happen in Ganesh Temple to Kalyana Mandapam. So we are providing facilities, and not at a very reasonable cost, extremely reasonable cost. And this barely pays for air conditioning bills right now. So, so we thought, whatever we do now, there are two urgent issues we need to address right now. When you have such a big campus with so many facilities, that's good news, but it comes with heavy maintenance and cost to operate the temple. So what we thought was we'll target some maintenance areas and reduce the cost, whatever we can. And one of the big things that came about when I was discussing, I pitched my idea, I was thinking about it for like 2 or 3 years, is how about solar energy? We have a parking lot on the south side, and we put a nice, beautiful canopy over it with a nicely designed canopy and put solar panels on it. and it will reduce the cost of electricity. Right now, we pay approximately $10,000 a month utilities. Because your air conditioning, we have hundreds of tons of air conditioning going on in the youth center, visitor center, priest quarters, Ganesh temple, main temple. But it's cool, nice and cool. But we air condition 7 days a week, even though we rent it out only 2 days a week. So, but it needs to be cool all the time, because even though slightly higher, we put Nest controllers and varying the temperatures based on the number of people there and all that. We're doing whatever we can. We used LED lighting in the youth center now. But $10,000 a month is high, right? So we signed this Green Mountain utility contract almost 3 years ago for 9 cents a kilowatt. And even with that, it is 10,000. So that is supposed to expire in March, and it might go to 14 cents. That means our costs will go up by almost 50%. So what this will do, and I'm going to go through the presentation. I don't want to say any more. And then we heard a lot about attacks. I just went through active shooter training 2 times a week in a Texan. That is reality. People are going crazy, mental illness. We don't know. It's become unpredictable. We are worried that so many devotees in the campus. We have a responsibility to make sure that we provide a secure environment, so all these devotees they can focus on what they are there to do, not worry about their safety. So one thing that starts at the fence, and I'm going to go through into details. So these 2 initiatives we thought are the best way to reduce the cost of operation, but I'll go through how much savings we are going to get from solar, and as well as how much security, and at the same time beautification. It was neglected. The fence, we have a beautiful temple, but no fence. If you look at that, if you're entering, you don't remember how you entered, but once you enter the main temple quadrangle, the beauty of the temple is appreciated. We don't have to do that. We should have a nice fence. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. It's not a big project. There are 2 initiatives we're calling it. We can expand it as much as you want. We can add more solar panels and stuff like that later and all that. So I'm going to share those details. So I shared my idea. People next gen, Damo is our next gen coordinator. Damo, our executive director there. And that is one of the challenges to next generation from 30 to 50 or 25 to 50. 25 to 50. Why they're not, our kids are not coming to temple as much as we do. We need to find out. So he's done a lot of good things already, made a lot of progress. We found out their opinion. We're trying to connect them. And we asked them, would Go Green appeal to you? And they were all excited. This is actually their project. They want to promote this. So we were excited, and we gave them something to work on. They like to do this environmentally cleaner energy, stuff like that. So, and then beautification, of course, gardening, helps, all of those things helps not only for us, for all the next generation. Okay, now, with all that, and I'm going to stop and then not give away all the information that is in the slides. And I want to thank you. So when we started out this project and we budgeted, we had already fundraiser, and I asked Roopa. I worked with Roopa first in 2 years, so I told her, you have to help me here. And, because spread the word, go to the friends, and it only happens because we are supporting it. Temple goes only as long as you are supporting it. Every year, it depends on your support. We don't have any government funding, but thank goodness to you, due to your support, it is doing very well, extremely well. So we are able to celebrate everything without worrying. There are no loans. Temple has no loans. We pay 0 loans. We own that complex outright with 0 loans. And so that is what we want to maintain. So we collect, we spend only what we collect, and things like that. We want to maintain that. And so with that, I want to thank Roopa for agreeing to host this fundraiser and spread the word. Thank you, Roopa. And with that, I'm going to go through briefly. Picture is equal to 1,000 words. So I'm going to share pictures and few words. And then after that, our fundraising co-chairs and our leader, Appan and Vadaganathan and Venugopal, they're going to talk briefly, and then we'll interact. and we will answer your questions. Well, let's make it an interactive session, not boring one way, right? We want to hear from you too. With that, we can go to the presentation. Okay, so can we go to the next slide? Something can be. Oh, he's doing it. So these slides, Bala, you have to tell me what I'm seeing here, because some of these are new slides. Okay, power. So we are. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I thought we talked about power with solar, right? That is one of the initiatives. Second one is security with reinforced fence and CCTVs. So how is that going to work? We will build a nice fence across. We'll have a nice gate and everything. We'll have a security guard station. I'll show you where all that stuff is. And beautification, of course, along Meenakshi Boulevard. We have a beautiful temple. We have a nice entrance and everything. Now, why not turn that into a park? Meenakshi Park and temple, right? So you can go pray and then go to the park and enjoy we have a playgrounds now for the kids. We have temple for us, and we have Kalyana Mandapam. It will be a park. We have all the amenities now. So the beautification is part of that. So we want to build the fence and put a green wall with a lot of trees there, magnolias and things like that. So it not only offers privacy and also shows green. And I'll show you some pictures how we are trying to do that in a minute. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so we just covered this, right? So first initiative, going solar, going green, right? Excites next gen, excites everybody. We all are at one point or the other said, okay, can we put solar panels and reduce utility bills? We want to use, it's a hot city, and sun is there. Let's use it, right? Harness the solar energy and save costs at the same time. So what you're looking at here is possible ways to cover the parking lot that does the two things. One is it provides a shade for your car. It keeps it cooler while you're in the temple for an hour or two. And then also saves us energy. So one possible way we were going to do was that canopy like that, and you can see the cars there. And then I got these from Yale University article, why we should do parking lots with solar and all that. And I got some samples. So these are the types of canopies we are now studying to see which one is the better way to go. And this is another one, T-shaped one. And that's one single hole in the middle, depending on, so we are going to go one of those, and I'm just showing you what is possible. So we are still studying that thing, and we'll go with one of them. So what you're going to see at that point is a solar panel cover, a roof with cars, provide shade for the cars at the same time, right? And even if it's raining, you get out, you don't get wet. That's what the idea. And then also, the cars are cooler, we are saving the energy. A lot of things happening at the same time. And let's go to the next slide. I'll give you more details on this. So when you purchase and deploy at home, you always question, okay, how long will it take for recover my money first? If I spend 50,000, it takes about 15 years to recover, and then I will start saving on the utilities. Here, that doesn't apply, because it's a temple, we take the donations, we deploy. From day one, the temple is saving money immediately. So cost recovery does not apply here. That's what I was saying. 50K reduction, we're very conservatively, we are saying $50,000 less saving, 50 to 60% from yearly utility costs. But that is based on today's costs. So if you're looking at next 10 years, I'm saying we'll save 500,000, but not considering inflation. Inflation is 2 to 4% now. It is actually 8%, but the utility costs are going up. The inflation is not 2% there. That is 4 to 5%, 10%. Right now, when we apply, it will be 14 cents. So we save close to 500 is a minimum. We may save as much as $1 million in 10 years. And that's $1 million reduction in expense. The first time whatever we're doing, we're reducing the cost of the temple operation, which is very important for sustainability of the temple. In case something happens like a pandemic, we're not able to raise funds. Lower the cost, better we survive, not spend all of our maintenance trust funds. And right now, thank God, we're doing so well. And because you're doing so well. And thank God for that. And blessings from Meenakshi. We are all doing so well. So let's go to the next slide. So this is about some small specs. I want to skip this and go back to this if somebody has a question. These are the small details. Okay, so this is kind of not visible, but that's okay. I'm going to go through this. Access control starts at the outer perimeter, right? So when you are providing security, security starts at the outer fence when you enter, right? That's all it says. Fencing and a video surveillance. So we put a fence, and we also want to complement the cameras we have with the CCTV cameras with 24-hour video recording. So some of the temples and dealerships in the city use this facility. They are operated by, they are monitored 24/7 by agency in India. Like right now, Gujarati Samaj, dealerships, they do that. And then if they see some suspicious character, they will record that, they will call the police themselves first, and they will notify executives and send us the video to us and the police. So that's how secure that is. So we want to see, there is a certain number of cameras, there's a subscription service we have to provide, but it's much better than, right now we have one security guard that shows up at 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night when the temple closes, and leaves at 6 o'clock in the morning. We are paying $60,000 a year for him. And we are not even covering during daytime. These things happen during daytime too sometimes. So if you go to Swaminarayan temple, you pull up, they will look at you first and then they open the gate. So they're not just directly letting you in. So we have to do something like that, We have to make sure that, it is a little bit inconvenient, but once you are inside, you're safer, right? At least we have a way to alert authorities before something happens. So, but it doesn't have to look like a fort, like a jail, long walls, and it can be beautiful at the same time and secure. So that's what we're getting to right now. Achieve protection goals with enhancing the campus surroundings and beautification, that's where, with grand entrance, arches, and landscaping. Landscape is not that difficult. We have some trees that don't die no matter freeze, hurricanes, they survive, and things like that. So we have playgrounds already. We have playgrounds for kids and basketball fields and bunch of playgrounds in the back near the Ganesh temple now. You can actually 50 kids can play, 60 kids can play at the same time. Anyway, so we have playgrounds. Next step is to transform temple grounds into a park with the landscaping. Complement it, whatever we have. When you are walking along Meenakshi Boulevard, you should feel like you're going through Brindavan Gardens. I guess you're familiar with Brindavan Gardens in Bangalore? Beautiful colors, and I used to see that in 1970s. I don't know how it is now, but after 50 years, which is, we are saying 2032, some people said it is 2027. When we get the 50 years status, we can apply for a historical landmark to the city and the federal government. It provides this security, because their government is supposed to provide security for the historical landmarks from. So we might get some of those things too. So we are very, very close to getting that historic landmark. So we're going to watch that. As soon as we hit, we're going to apply and get that designation for historical landmark. Let's go to the next slide. So what is the fence? We talked about fence quite a bit. So it might look like this from a McLean Road. If you're coming in, this is the left side is the grand entrance, and then that is the smaller arch is in front of the Rajagopura. So here you see that fence. We put the Ganesha there, but that will be Meenakshi Kalyanam, because this is a Meenakshi temple, Shakti temple. So when you enter, you may see the Ganesh statue, but that will be Meenakshi Kalyanam on both sides. So if you want to take a picture from coming out from inside the safety of the temple and take a picture and all that, you can do that, and then or from the front. So that is a smaller arch. That's a north gate, and there's another gate here on the left side we are not showing, which is a south gate, something similar to that north gate there. So that's how the fence is going to look like on overall picture. Let's go to the next slide here. So this is a close-up on the arch. And our architect, one of the architects is Muttaya Sthapati in India, and our US architect is Ashok Mungara, sitting right there. He's extremely familiar, and he was the architect working with Muttaya Sthapati and built Ganesh temple, MTRP, main temple, and CTRP and all that. I mean, I worked with him for 6 years. So I'm familiar, we are familiar with each other's mentality, patience, and all that stuff. And I hope to work with him in the future too. So, and finish this. So, what you see here is that you see the Ganesha there, that will be Meenakshi Kalyanam, right? On both sides. There are two sides to this. You can see from inside it will look the same or outside. Like with Dwarapalakas you see there, I will show you a real example. I had that in the slide. I don't know if you removed that or not, but I'll show it later. Their Dwarapalakas are facing inside, one facing outside. There are two of them there, actually. You see only one here, but and the left side box here, this is the guard entrance. This is where the guard is. Guard will be sitting and watching. And let's go to the next slide. And this you see from the top, this is the guard's entrance. This is the main fence right here, the line. And then 4 feet inside is the guard entrance. And from there inside is a more wall of us. That is the actual fence on the top there. That is how the entrance looks from the top. There is a depth to it. And you can see the road going in front of the Rajagopuram there on the right side with respect to where it is. It's going to be pushed back a little bit because when you pull in, you want to be able to see the arch in the car. If it is right on top of you, you may not see it. So it's likely pushed it inside and you will see the arch and you will enter. And on the way back also you'll see. Let's go to the next one. So this is another arch in front of Meenakshi. We need to have some arch in front of the Rajagopuram, right? And for now, there will be another gate there, but it's not, we're going to seal that for security reasons, but it will be like a gate. If you want it, we can open it if you want it, but that's another arch there. Again, here we have, we're trying to work with Sthapati, and we have deities inside the temple, right? Meenakshi, Shiva, and Venkateshwara and all that. So we're trying to arrange that so we represent that what is inside the temple in that arch as much as we can from the front and back. So we'll see. So we'll go to the next one. So this is again zoomed out image. So you see Youth Center on the left, Kalyana Mandapam, arch, Rajagopuram. This is an aerial view how it looks. Okay. Doesn't it look nice? You agree? I think our temple, this is our temple, it deserves nice, right? So I can't wait to see this happen. And it's only 12 months away. You will see it. We just need to, and with your support, we can make it happen, and you will be driving through that arch. And there was a picture that I gave it to Bala. We'll show it to you. What can we do in that arch? An example from another temple. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's go to another one. So again, this is a close-up of that arch. You've already seen it. Let's go to the next one. So this is the side view of that arch. As you can see, there's a depth to it. You can see the guard entrance on the left side here, on the front, and the arches, and you can see the depth there. And that's the Rajagopuram side view and all that. So, okay. So we'll go to the next one here. I'm going to go through this quickly. This is a close-up view of how the what it will have is like what Ashok describes. Keep me honest here, correct me. So what will happen is the columns, there'll be a drill shafts going down in order to keep that probably stable, and have a bell at the bottom of that drill shaft in the ground, few feet down, and then a bell, 36 inches bell, and it's stand there, and then from there there'll be a beam connecting the all the columns. And then that beam, you see that beam there at the 2 feet beam, and then 6 feet wrought iron fence. And we'll have some design on the top. A lot of people express that they want that nice arrow type thing displayed and all that. And so, and this embellishment on the stone, once they build this column to the top, concrete column, the Shilpis from India, they'll come in and put the embellishment, beautiful embellishment with molds and everything that matches our temple architecture. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. The same thing with the arch too. they, they'll build, the structural engineer will build the structure, it's concrete structure, frame, and the temple Shilpis come in and build all these arches around it, embellishment around it, and that transform the simple structure into a beautiful thing. These people are so, I appreciate them every time they're here. I spent 6 years with them. Amazing artists. We are truly blessed to have these people around to, build these things for us. This is another one. Right now, it's a wish list. It only depends on how much money we raise. So we don't want to stretch too much. Remember, we don't want to borrow. So if we have it, we will do it. But this is what so that blue shaded area, see, that is a Rajavidhi there. And what you see, this box is a Rajavidhi. That's Rajavidhi. And this box here, and Ashok drew this thing, by the way, and thank you for doing that. So what it is when you are driving by that arch, you'll see these fountains, water fountains. some people express that they need a water feature. So when you're driving on McLean Road, before you're turning, you'll see these nice fountains of 5 feet or 4 feet going around that area. That is the water area. It's just a pond with a nice water feature. And then you pull in. It's very simple to maintain. It's just a little bit of water, and the fountains have to be cleaned and maintained. Our Shilpis can do that. Our Shilpis are so talented. You met them, Ramnath and Vishwas, Praveen will come back, and Rajesh. We have Shilpis, amazing talent. I mean, these people they can create whatever they want if you just give them time. And they are also very handyman. They're electricians. You saw a lot of these LED street lights installed along Meenakshi. They installed it themselves. We didn't have to call electricians. I was surprised. So they bought the stuff and they just installed it whenever they're in the afternoon when you're not there. Anyway, so let's go to the next slide. If we have one. Okay, this is what I was talking about. What can you do once it's finished? This is one of those examples. That's a Meenakshi Kalyanam, it'll look like that for us. And you see Dwarapalakas facing backwards, like they're one facing the other way, 4 of them. So there'll be stone statues. We'll be getting them from Chennai. And this is how it's going to look like, and we will have a guard station next to it that's missing from here. But just an example of what you can do. We can take pictures, somebody getting married, somebody's 80th birthday, whatever it is, a family together. We visited the temple, they can sit there and take a picture. It's a nice photo opportunity. So that's just what can happen, how it will look in real time. So I think that is the end of my presentation. See, you talked about along Meenakshi Boulevard. What we want to do is along the entrance and then along the Meenakshi Boulevard, we want to put that cast stone border like that, nice along that, with flowers and pots along the way. So when you're walking, and also some statues, molds on the side of the Kalyana Mandapam, because the Kalyana Mandapam is used for Arangetrams and all that stuff. So we want to install some molds, 3-dimensional. So where you're walking by, you can see that that's an culturally programmed area. It looks very nice. And I showed some pictures of Ravindra Bharati in Hyderabad that has a beautiful statues. I just sampled because I'm from Hyderabad, so I've seen it. So I shared that with Ashok and everybody. They said, okay, we can do that with the molds. With Shilpis can do that, so that's one thing. So I think this is it, right? I mean, we have, so another one, so we'll now I'm going to invite, next one, these are some examples of what in light without the people there, and and this is, remember, this is similar to what we have, but a guard station is missing here, that's all. On the either side there will be, for symmetry, we had another box on the right side for our arch, but that's all is missing, but this will look like this. So do you like this? Yeah. I thought you'd like it because I just fell in love as soon as I saw that, slide before this? The big fence? Next one. Yeah. Okay, let's leave that, and then I'm going to stop right here. I think I talked enough. I'm going to invite Dr. Appan here, and followed by Vadanathan and Venugopal Menon and Balakrishnan. Okay, so Dr. Appan, he's been guiding us how to run this for last 10 years. And we follow his method, and we've been extremely successful, and he will tell you how much money we raised and everything. I'm going to.
Good evening, and thank you. Donors are the most important requirement, generous donors for any institution, and it's always a pleasure to meet you and talk to you and have this opportunity to thank you in person, which we don't get too many chances to do. You have been a part of making Meenakshi Temple a magnificent temple. And every time we asked you for money, you have generously wrote a check, and we want to take this opportunity, Vinod, to thank you for that. And before I continue, we are very grateful to Roopa and Bala. From 1996, right, Roopa? Yes. She has been a strong asset, a strong supporter of our temple, and thank you for that, Roopa, and thank you for arranging this fundraiser. We appreciate that very much, both of you, Bala and Roopa. We are also very lucky to have a very bold and visionary chairman, Vinod Kaila. And we have a very capable, hard-working board to get things done. We have people like Dr. Alagappan, who is the money man, the treasurer, and we have Dr. Damodaran, board member. Any other board member? Ram Sundar, and joint treasurer. And so the point I want to make is that you need strong, bold leadership to get anything done. We are so fortunate, and we thank you, Vinod, and your team. We also have some excellent past chairman of the temple, Dr. Vadanathan, Dr. Venugopal Menon, our emeritus chairman. Narayanan is here, and Dr. Sami is one of our founding members.
He's watching the live thing. He's sitting downstairs.
Okay. So the point I want to make is that anytime we ask you for money, you have generously given us the money. I want to say a few things about the strength of our temple. First of all, leadership. Secondly, donations, which is very important. And for the, we have had 5 big mega projects, $1 million projects, as you know, in the past 10 years. And $7 million were donated by all of you, which I think which helped Meenakshi Temple to blossom into a magnificent, beautiful temple. But more importantly, you have to talk about the institutional strength, not just the outside beauty. And one of the key indicators of strength, institutional strength, is number of devotees attending the temple. It's like you open a college, you have to have students. That is an indicator, yardstick of success. Meenakshi temple, as our chairman mentioned, last Suvasini Puja, 500 devotees packed in the main temple auditorium. And at the end, we had more than 1,000 devotees. So this is one example. Every event we have at the temple, we have big crowd. So what I'm saying is that institutional strength, the money you donate is put to use in well-planned projects which help institutional strength and bring more and more devotees. So we are, well, that, can I request Dr. Vadagannathan?
I don't know whether this light falling on, maybe moving away a little bit helpful. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dr. Vadagannathan. First of all, I've seen many movie theaters in personal homes, but never seen such an acoustically designed music hall in a personal home. Thank you, Roopa and Bala, for inviting to visit this hall. I didn't realize how formal this occasion is. I thought it's just a temple dinner. Just came 5 minutes from work and I just jumped into this and came. This is the first function and it's a privilege and honor. And I didn't see all your notes in the invitation that there was a dress code. So apologize for not meeting your dress code. Oh, you need you in the light. Okay. Okay, fine, no problem. I can manage that. This is not the first time Roopa Bala is a co-chair of a major fundraiser for a mega project of MTS. In 2014, I knew that what she is capable of. So I was the chairman when we did the expansion of the main temple, the MTRP project, $1.5 million project. Pretty significant jump in the budget at that time. Before that, they were like 1 million and under. So I asked her to be a co-chair. And she was one of the 4 co-chairs. And she readily accepted. And she did, I believe, the second home fundraiser after, after the chairman's fundraiser, which I had in my house. And she did. And we had raised about over $100,000 in my home. And she just doubled it in her home. Please give her a big round of applause. So I already knew, spotted her capability, and she delivers. And Vinod is now even looking into some big numbers this evening. Hopefully, we will reach, and Treasurer Alagappan will be happy, hopefully, at the end of the evening. So I just won't go into so much details, but we have, this project is like Chairman very eloquently presented. I think as every presentation I've been watching you, you've been improving, and it's been flawless today. Very nice. There is this is your sponsorship form. I know Roopa does everything. You don't give any work for us, so she has already bugged you. But this is the sponsorship form. You have these 2 projects, the Go Green project and the Mahadwaram project. And I don't have to emphasize, both were very, very worthwhile projects for one simple reason. This does not increase the footprint of the concrete in the temple. There's no increase in the concrete at all. It's just the fence outside and then the solar. So this is the most green project somebody can come up with, and which is still very useful. Please give a big round of applause for that. And we have such a magnificent temple, like everybody would agree, but we don't have some nice entrance. So like everywhere else you go, you have like Swaminarayan temple and everything. For Meenakshi temple, when you enter, you just come in and just you enter. There isn't anything. Just go into the parking lot. Then you just get used to it. First time when I came, there is nothing there to enter. I mean, this doesn't feel like. Right now there is a little brown shed there in the front. I mean, maybe they are just doing your PR work to say this is needed. So, I mean, look at this. This is magnificent. This is what they are going to get. And of course, there are sponsorship options for, you know, on the top. I mean, I think they are going to have Meenakshi Kalyanam in the center, right, Chairman? Both in the front and in the back. And then in front of the Raja Gopuram, they are going to have several some smaller statues which will mimic what is inside the main temple. So that's just simple, just to get you. And there are several sponsorship options all the way up to $250,000. So there is sky is the limit. So please feel free to please generously donate. Like Roopa says, we all, you know, come there almost every week, every other week. So that's our second home. And so this is Meenakshi Temple is an integral part of our temple. And again, thank you for including me in your fundraising committee. And there are several veterans here, Venugopal, Narayanan, everybody can speak and appeal to you. And I humbly request you to generously donate. Thank you.
I'll stay in the light. Good evening, namaste. I was not expecting to speak anything, so when Vinod mentioned my name, I was scratching, digging out some thoughts, what I can say, what already has not been eloquently expressed by, and thank you, Roopa, and your lovely family for putting up this beautiful show. You cannot express in enough words how much it is helping the temple and all of us who are involved with the temple. One word of appreciation. I have seen many chairmen of the temple, including myself, present projects, but this was exemplary. What you expressed here, nobody can do a better job. Thank you, and I bow to Meenakshi's blessing that we got a chairman who is so efficient, bold, as Appan said. When Roopa mentioned 96, I was drawn back to 77 in how many days? 17 days or 16 days, we will be completing 45 years of the temple's history. Many of you may not have been even born, not even in the concept stage of your parents. But thank you for being here. And we have, I don't know how many of us, Dr. Appan was there, Bala was there. Anyone else who was in that first meeting, October 23, 1977? Yeah, he is not counted, only in this hall. So what I'm saying is, at that time, we assembled about 29 or 30, 35 people assembled. We had a humble dream of having a small deity to pray, because we were doing in the kitchens and parking lots and garages, meeting in different homes and all that. So that concept has blossomed into a magnificent 30 plus acres and $20 million of thing. No more than that, 10,000 devotees use Meenakshi Temple as their main place of prayer. So 96, Roopa, your family has been a big blessing to Meenakshi, and this is a very, very, few things what has not been told perhaps I want to say, what's the difference between these and maybe 30 other projects we did for the temple? Every other project, it was adding on to the maintenance, adding on to the cleaning, adding on to the many, many things, expenses to maintain. Except this is the first time I have come up with 2 or 3 projects. Every one of those is saving money for the temple. And not only that, we are meeting an obligation, a moral obligation. It's not just helping the temple, but we are helping humanity. See, in this day and age, when there is so much of global warming, all that, many people, including leaders, when they don't care about that, here is a leadership who has taken steps to. And when I was in India, I flew out of Cochin Airport, the first airport in the world who is 100% solar. That's, so I can align with my appreciation of what is being done. So think about it. When you are creating something like a solar project, it's not just helping the temple, it is helping a bigger cause. Second thing, safety. I don't have to tell you what's going on, all these shootings and all the nonsense going on. And it's our friends, our family, our children, our grandchildren visiting the temple. Right now, there is nothing to protect them. There is nothing to observe, something to be careful about. So it is absolutely, I don't have to say how important it is to protect the temple from that kind of intruders and being dangerous to that. And third thing, beautification. There is a saying that, godliness and cleanliness. So all those projects. So I would exceed my limit. So few thoughts I would like you to, all of you are here because Roopa invited you as a fundraising event. So you're already prepared. You have come here to willing to pledge and donate. Agreed? Think about it. This project is different. So whatever you have in mind to support, go to the next step. That's one request. So please think of it. It is a genuine request. It's a genuine need. So please consider. Number 2, our youngsters, Damodaran is leading this next generation project. It is, we are bequeathing our legacy to the following generation. But for them, there is hesitation to take it up because we are too much into religiosity and ritualism. That's not appealing to many of the youngsters. That's why in the history of the temple, only one individual of the second generation came on board. We need to change that, and Damodaran's project is going to change that. So please, this information, what temple is doing, pass it on to your children, your grandchildren, your friends, and make them aware that temple is being the torch bearers of an amazing project which is different than any other. We are taking the leadership, and again, congratulate you for doing that. I think people are staring at me, so I think I'll stop it here. So please, when you write that sheet, think of it. You came with an idea, double it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mayor. So I'm going to say where we are. We started the fund. We started the fundraising. General body passed in August 13th, and we started a fundraising on August 28th. We are at 450 right now. In 5 weeks, we've been raising funds for 5 weeks. We reached 450, and I will let Roopa launch this thing into outer space today. And just
wait. 450. And Dr. Appan, I spoke with Dr. Appan 2 weeks back, and he said we need to do 500. So my goal was to raise $50,000, and I agreed to be part of this on a Friday at the temple, and I left to India on Monday. So my only way of communication was the 2 WhatsApp. And I said 50,000, that's going to be very hard, so let me start with 20,000. So I reached 20,000, and then let's see what I did. Dr. Appan wanted everyone to come here and take a picture. We will do that later because this is like Anjaneya's tale, the number of names that there. So I'm going to play a video. At the end, we'll see whether Vinod is going to smile or not. 8 years ago, I was very much part of the temple, sitting there looking at people. 8 years later, I am not even there during the peak time. So that is a big disadvantage.
Sarvadi di 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 dum dum dum. Sarvadi di 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 dum dum. Konjam chindura chingara kinnara poonennarai vannu. Madhumadamo 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 madhumadamo.
tumbi 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 tullalla indro indro tumbi tullalla
சர்வடி டி 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 டம் டமடம் சர்வடி டி 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 டம் டம் கொஞ்சம் சிந்தூர சிங்கார கிന്നാர பூனென்னராய் வന്നു മധുമണമോ 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 മധുമണമോ
തുമ്പി 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 തുള്ളല്ലോ ഇൻറോ ഇൻറോ തുമ്പി തുള്ളല്ലോ ജല 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 മണിയേ അവനിടം ഇത് ഇരണ്ടിട മണിയേ തനിയേ 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 അവനുളകിലോ മറ്റും തനിയേ കൊള്ളച്ചിരിപ്പിൻ തുമ്പി 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 തുള്ളല്ലോ ഇൻറോ ഇൻറോ തുമ്പി തുള്ളല്ലോ
സർവടി സർവടി ടി 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 டம் டமடம் സർവടി ടി 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 டம் டம் கொஞ்சம் சிந்தூர சிங்கார கிന്നാர பூனென்னராய் വന്നു
This number is as of yesterday. I'm sure it'll add. I have one small story to say. Last week or week before last, I think, I was standing in the Perumal Sannadhi and uncle was standing there, Sundarajan uncle. So I just said, hello uncle, how are you? How is auntie and all? And then I said, uncle, I'm part of this MTS fundraiser. Would you like to donate? And I was asking him, can you give me $1,000 pledge? He said, no, go big. I said, what big? No, go big, further big. And I'm calling Bala, I'm telling him, he's saying big, I don't know what it is. So then he said, no, Roopa, I'll do 50,000 this year, next year I'll do 50,000. My jaw dropped dead. It was like, uncle, please come, uncle. And he didn't want to announce his name, and we had to convince him. I said, you're giving a big donation, we need to do that. And immediately I called Vinod and Dr. Appan. I said, I'm done with my fundraiser, my deal is sealed. Thank you so much for bringing smile on my face. I was crying that day, but you brought smile on my face. Thank you so much. So I'm pretty sure you...
Yeah, it's my pleasure donating the temple. Last 40 years I have been part of the temple for every occasion. And many times I used to see Dr. Menon and Balakrishna also know that. It's my long time wish to donate this much. I was waiting for the right project. I am really fascinated this project because from outside it will really look like temple complex, right, for anybody to visit. So I'm happy I'm doing this, and also I like the money saving aspect. Okay, let's thank you for that. And the beautification is other my wish. That's very important. The complex inside, it has to be more beautiful, not only the outside, from the outside. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Dear friends, I just want to say a couple of things about Mr. Sundarajan. He is the most modest and most technically talented person I know of. I know that personally because I'm involved in the oil and gas business quite a bit. And I happened to visit his plant in Trichy in 2020 February. We accidentally met in a hotel. He said, come on by. I went there. That employs about 500 people. And I have visited plants all over the world, in States, Japan, Australia, Japan in particular. This plant is the safest, cleanest, most quality-oriented, happy employees. I spent about half a day. I am extremely proud of Sundarajan and his family is devoted, and his daughter, son-in-law were sitting there, and I can say enough. And again, thank you, Sundarajan.
Okay, I know him very well. Because his brother is my classmate. Okay. All the technical things, Damar said, I have a lot of technical things, but I'm not going to bore with that. I visited his factory. The two things impressed me is, for $1, 1 rupee, he's giving food for 500 people any time of the day. Not a particular day, any time of the day. 3 shifts people have 1 rupee food. Give a lot of scholarship for education. Through his factory and through other organizations. And I know other organizations because I have one educational trust and contributed liberally. And apart from that, like Damodar said, the cleanest factory, I have seen a lot of factories all over the world, including India. I worked in a shop, very good. And on top of it, is a very humble person, and his life is very inspirational. I just, give me 2 minutes here. His basic degree is ITI, fitting and fitness and everything. From there he went to LME, engineering, and he got, how many patents you have? 35 patents. Getting it in USA is not easy in the oil and gas industry. And he supplies all over the world. And the talent he transferred from here to India. And the manufacturing in India. I mean, his life is a story of great inspiration. And his donation is very well appreciated. I mean, I'm not qualified to say that it's appreciated. And yeah, and also his children are working in the factory and everything. It's an endless story. I stop here at this point. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Balakrishnan. Thank you, Damar, for all the good up. And the other side, you will make it.
Okay. Shall we wrap it up? Thank you all for your generous donation. Total is at...
So we were at 450, you said 180. It's 630 we reached today. So we are getting close. Thank you, Roopa. We are in outer space now.
I told him you will be in outer space.
So, good question. So the initiative, solar.
Q&A dinner time.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So solar project is solar. There are 2 initiatives. We are calling initiatives because we can modularly add to the fence as well as solar panels. So each initiative is $500,000 each. So our we usually when we spend like that 550, we get 10% overage contingency. So that's 550. But our budget is 500 each. So it's a $1 million project. We are at 630 with Roopa and counting.
Yeah, okay. We don't know. Couple of things. Dr. Appan is very particular. You all need to take a picture because he wanted each one of you to be here. We couldn't do that. So in the living room, we have set up a prop and Thiru will be there. So please do take a picture. And Dr. Aragappan will be sitting in the dining area with the pledge forms. I've already filled most of your pledge forms. Just sign. If you're giving a check, please give it to him. He will take it. And dinner is already served in the backyard. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. I just want to thank few people. One to my office staff. I took their life out till yesterday morning. Do this, do that, do that. And finally they rendered and sent it. And Abhishek for sitting in the in the sound booth. And most importantly, Bala did never question when I said I'm going to do this. So thank you.
Beautiful presentation. I thought I was watching Ponni and Selvan one, I think. And it's a beautiful movie. Okay, so thank you very much for putting to. Okay, Alagappan wants.
Yeah, I want to thank all the donors. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, just quickly want to thank all the donors. The number is really unbelievable, and only Roopa and Bala can pull it off such a number. Thanks to Sundarajan uncle for the $100,000 donor. And I want to invite you all for the fundraising dinner, October 16th. Every one of you who donated, please join. It's going to be a great evening. We want to see you all. Okay, next Sunday, October 16th. You will get a invite. Respond. And thank Thiru for all the pictures and okay. All right. Nice to see you all. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, make sure on the form you have your email address and contact information so we can send you e-vite in a timely manner. And please do come and enjoy the dinner, and we'll have entertainment on October 16th.
I've come so far from where I began. Miss the sound of the waves, the breeze on the skin. Wish that I could be back in my homeland, singing show me the road and I'll be right there. I'd do anything to feel the wind in my hair. I'd go far as it takes and I won't even care. I'll sing It's been 10 years, but I spend each day thinking, what if I hadn't gone? What if I stayed? But when so many things are calling me away, I'll sing it fills my heart like no other song can. It's the sound of the race, the boats leave the land. Take me back to the waters of my homeland. We'll sing Shri